Here goes Parker and Lyndon Byers.
Well, I'll tell you, there's some serious punches thrown.
And here we go. Rouse now with Lyndon Byers.
Rouse not really knowing Lyndon Byers' reputation at this point. Lyndon Byers is a tough kid.
And here goes Byers and Cochran.
Cochran is out on his feet. Lyndon Byers caught him with a Mike Tyson uppercut. That gets the Garden faithful going. Not a fun thing when you get hit like that. You literally see stars and you go, uh-oh.
Please turn off the lights as you leave.
Well, they get turned out all right.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Hockey Show, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Ryan Johnston, Judd Surratt, Bob Beers here with you in the Town Fair Tire Studios. Tonight, the Bruins are celebrating the fourth of their Centennial Eras nights and celebrating the New Blood, New Beginnings era, which encompasses 1986 through 2000. And they will be celebrating that as the Bruins take on the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Of course, Bob Beers, our friend here, was very much a part of that era.
Yeah, small part, but yeah. Proud to say I was, yes.
A part.
Yeah.
And another person who was very much a part of that era, one of the most memorable parts of that era, is joining us now on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. We just heard some of the highlights. Lyndon Byers, the one and only LB, joining us this morning. LB, how are you, man?
Sudty, Judd, how are you guys? Sorry I'm late. My gosh, I don't know what happened. You know, when you hang with a bunch of hooligans, somebody kidnapped me. They hog-tied me on top of the roof naked, and I finally got out, and I grabbed somebody's phone, some lady that was doing her hair in the lobby.
LB, how was it last night? Did you have a good time? Other than that,
I can't tell you. I'm sitting here. Leachy just walked in. Brian Leach. I got Jay Miller. He's got a coffee. He's holding the fort down. I got Nifty, Nibbler, Mark Wart's over here across the way. Bob Sweeney stuffing his face. I want to be like Bob Sweeney. You know what's unbelievable about Swoop Sweeney is that he can eat. He's that guy that can eat anything all day and never gains a pound. You know, and I eat, and you know, I'm a svelte, maybe 285. You know, I'm
playing weight.
I'm just like I'm like 80 pounds over my playing weight. I'm almost there.
LB,
it was great to see Beersy last night. Love that guy.
It was good to see you. It was good to see. I'm still. My ears are still hurting from Randy Burridge last night, though. That's the.
Yeah, Stumpy's here. He's all ready. Hey, Stumper, come over and say hi. Stumpy, Beersy. Hey, Beersy and John. Beersy and
Stumpy.
John.
Oh, no wonder Beersy was out of there early last night.
Early wake-up call. Yeah, he's not LB. He's not like me. I used to show up at 4 in the morning for the 6 a.m. call.
Somebody's got to score some goals, Beersy. Good thing you're there, buddy.
All right, Helby, we need some stories. I'm just curious. What was it like for you coming to Boston at age 19?
Well, I'll tell you that this is one of the greatest stories I ever told. You know, just when they say about when you came when you were young. When my first practice at the Boston Garden, I went to my locker and I looked behind my in my stall was my equipment. So I started taking my equipment down and I looked, and in my stall there's an ashtray. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I got an ashtray. So then we play our first exhibition game, and we come in after the first period, you know, and that was, Brad Park, and, we're talking old school. Ratty was still playing, Nifty Middleton, Taz, Milbury, so on and so on. And we come in after the first period. We're in our first exhibition game, and I'm sitting there, and I go and grab, you grab a Coke or, in those days, the cooler had Bud Light, Miller Lite, Michelob, and then Coca-Cola and Sprite. You know, there was no Gatorade. There was, you know.
A lot of hydration.
BioSteel wasn't in there yet.
But so I come in and my first exhibition game, I come in after the first half the team's not in the locker room. And I'm looking around, and I said to Frosty Forstall, I said, you know, am I missing something? Is there a meeting? And they're like, no, the guys are in the smoking room. And guys used to take their skates off, shoulder pads, whatever, and they go and they rip 2 or 3 butts, you know, in between periods, and then come back. You know, so that, you know, obviously we had to play better, so you had to have a couple of cigarettes, right?
And you didn't have them.
No. I wasn't a smoker back then. Never been.
I love the morning stretch on the locker room floor, and you telling stories about the night before.
Yeah, I took a lot of heat for that, Judd. I would have freaked a lot of people. So my whole career, you know, when you play hockey, guys always wear a can, right, to protect your, you know, huevo rancheros. And I never wore a can. I never wanted to put all of it in one place. I thought if you just leave everything spread out, you're never going. So I never wore a can my whole career. But I hated underwear. So all I wore was a jock strap, and I was like a gymnast. I was super flexible, right? It was unbelievable. And so I used to stretch on the rug, and it never really occurred to me till I think Sudsy brought it up to me last night with my naked stretching, and I never thought about my butt being on the carpet, though. You know, I don't know. Look, everybody gets ready for a game, okay? And you know, I wasn't there. I had to be limber. I had to be ready to go. I didn't know who I was going to fight. You know, if you weren't stretched out and ready to go, you could get knocked out. Okay, that's all I knew. That's all.
So, who are the guys who took you under their wing when you were first coming to the Bruins?
My whole team. No, I think one of the most influential guys in my career was Wayne Cashman. I got called up. I played for the World Junior team, and after the World Junior, after the World Junior tournament, the Bruins called me up for 10 games, and Cash took a liking to me. I had a really good 10 games. I had a couple of goals, 3 assists, and I think I had like 35 penalty minutes, fought a couple of guys. I think I pounded Warren Young's face in, big kid from Pittsburgh, and Cash really liked me. Cheesy was unbelievable. Cheesy was just the greatest guy, greatest coach anybody could ever have. You know, if you ever needed money, he was awesome. You're on the road, you know, you're a young guy, you're on the road, you get your $300 for meal money, you know, for a 2-week road trip. You know, I'd blow through that in like day 2. I'd blow through that in day 2. And then you just have to go to, everybody told you, just go to Cheesy. Cheesy never had less than 10 grand in his pocket. It was, you know, it was good.
LB, when you came from junior, right, 32 goals 2 years in a row, just looking at your stats right now, I mean, I knew that you were a goal scorer in junior, but you come to the NHL, like, when did you say, all right, or did somebody tell you you're not a goal scorer here, you got to do it in a different way?
Well, no, I mean, my life and my career kind of changed. I was having a great rookie year, and I blew my knee out, and then the next year I came back, I broke my wrist and missed the whole year, so I only played like 11 games in my first 2 seasons in the NHL. And then the next year I came back, and I was having a tough time at training camp. They sent me down, and I think Butch Goring got fired, and Terry O'Reilly took over as coach, and I had played with Taz. And so I called my dad. I remember calling Big Vern, and I called Big Vern, and I said, you know, what do you think? And he's like, well, I don't know. What do you think your best situation is? And I said, well, I'm going to fight the 3 toughest guys on every team for the next 10 games. If I don't get called up, I'm going to quit. And so I fought the 3 toughest guys for the first 3 games, and Taz called me up, and the rest is history. And then I had a Jay Miller. I had a Jay Miller to protect me.
Willie Billy silly line?
Yeah. That was good. Stumpy Burridge and Stevie Casper. They saved my career. I got to play with them. Keith Crowder got hurt, so I got to play with them for like 10 games. I had like 5 goals.
LB, just looking at some of the guys during that era that you played with, there were a few different guys who did what you did, but did they go about it a little bit differently than you did it?
I think the whole thing is it's like everything, Judd, everybody has to find their way. Things change, personalities change, coaches change. It's a reality. Some coaches like a guy, some coaches, don't like a guy because the guy rubs them the wrong way, but they still got to keep him. Sports is made up of personalities. Everybody's not on the love boat. That's the thing about coaching and being a general manager and being Cam and Donnie Sweeney. You might not get along with a kid or get along with a guy, but he's good for your hockey team, so you find a way to make it work. And I was just, we're having the greatest time here this weekend. Seeing Beersy. And for the record, does everybody know your nickname's Sudsy?
No. I've got several nicknames.
He drank a ton of Sprite. He loved Sprite. So we used to have to stock the cooler with like twice as many Sprites because Sudsy used to drink them like water. But being here with all these guys is just phenomenal, and that's what the whole Bruins organization is. Everybody talks about it. When you start looking back at the Boston Bruins and you look up in the rafters and you see Eddie Shore, you see Chief, and you see Bobby Orr and Cam and all the guys, we all wanted to act like everybody acted before us, and being a Bruin is very special, and we all get it and we all know it, and we understand what it means to the city, and we understand what the city means to us. I mean, we love every fan that, the gallery gods, we love everybody. We know they're as special to us as we are to them. It's amazing, man.
LB, give me so from 86. So they're celebrating 86 to 2000, right? So give me your most. Yeah. I mean, went to the Stanley Cup Finals twice, conference finals a couple times. Just your most satisfying or memorable moments throughout your career.
Well, gosh, my God. I mean, there's so many moments. Because we're Bruins. Beers, I mean, you can never take away. Norman, bringing Norman onto the ice, that was incredible. Being on the bench when Bubba Bork pulled off the jersey, pulled the 7 off to, unveil 77 with Espo there. That was incredible. Playing my first game, I scored in Detroit. Craig McTavish fed me, and the goalie, I don't know who was in goal, but the goalie made the save, and it was sitting on the goal line, and I tipped it in, and then I moonwalked. I did Michael Jackson moonwalk on my skates. Everybody was trying to congratulate me and give me the puck, and I moonwalked to center ice like no one existed, and I got a standing ovation from the Detroit Red Wings crowd.
That's awesome. Well, LB, this night is going to come against the Montreal Canadiens, and I'm wondering, especially during your era, when you saw that jersey, what it meant to play against the Habs, whether it was in Boston or at the Old Forum.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
What was it like for you when you saw that Canadiens jersey, whether you were playing in Boston or playing at the Old Forum?
No, I hate them. I hate it. I did radio with WAF for 22 years, and the one year the Bruins, I forget what year it was. I think it was 2010. The Bruins were up 3-0, and a guy called in to the radio station, and he said to me, he's like, the Habs are going to beat you in 7 games. And I'm like, shut up, you dope. Are you an asshat? What are you talking about? I go, what do you, I'll bet you anything. He goes, well, I'll bet you a tattoo. He said, I'll get a Boston Bruins tattoo, and if the Canadiens win, you have to get a Canadiens tattoo. So, of course, the Canadiens come back. They win in 7 games. So for a year, I put it off, and the guy called in every week. He's like, "Did you get the tattoo? Did you get the tattoo? Did you get the tattoo?" And so finally, my buddy that worked with me, my buddy Stiz Grimy, he's a rapper, by the way. You can check him out. Just Google it. If Google still exists, I don't know. I'm old, so I don't know if Google works or it doesn't work, but whatever. Anyway, so he said my cousin is a tattoo artist in New Hampshire, and he showed me this design, and I was like, that's just genius. So I have the tattoo. I was going to put it on my leg, and Stiz's cousin goes, well, you don't want to put it on. You want everyone to see it. And I was like, okay. So she put it on my forearm, and I'm not sure if everybody in the radio world knows Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, sure.
So she designed a tattoo. It has Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes pissing on the Canadiens logo. And so I have that on my forearm.
That's a true story. I can see it right now. I'm looking at it. It's swoop. I see it. It is on there.
So I didn't welch on that tattoo. I got creative.
Love it.
LB, we appreciate the time so much. Glad you guys are having such a great time this weekend, and enjoy everything tonight. It's going to be a great time.
Well, hey, listen, I just want to say hey, thanks to you guys. Beersy, you were a great teammate. You're a great friend. You're incredible at what you do. Judge, I hope that you're learning from Beersy because he's a scientist in the radio and TV industry. And I just love to be able to be here with some of the greatest guys that ever wore the black and gold. And we were lucky enough to be, not for nothing. I still say, like Gretzky, Messier, what's his name? Yermar Curry and Lemaitre, the guy from Pittsburgh that was really kind of good. Those guys are overrated. We were awesome.
Love it. Look forward to seeing you tonight, LB.
All right, buddy. I love you guys. Thanks for allowing me to spout off a little bit, and thanks to the Boston Bruins, Cam, Don Sweeney, Charlie Jacobs for putting this weekend together because it's very special to all of us. It's really, really, really cool, and I look forward to seeing all the Bruins fans tonight. And let's tear it up. Like Stump Pump says, let's go!